Dear Spark Scholars and parents, I've noticed this week that scholars have been struggling particularly with rounding off. So this video is just to demonstrate how I teach rounding off in the classroom so that you can help your scholars at home. So when you get a rounding off question, it usually is presented like this. Round 65, for example, to the nearest 10. The first thing I make scholars do is to write the place value of each digit on top of the digit. So 5 is in the ones place and 6 is in the tens place. And because the instruction says round to the nearest 10, we are concerned with the 6 here, and that's what's going to change. The next thing I make scholars do is to draw a number line. For some scholars it's not necessary, but it generally tends to help scholars who are struggling. And this number line basically represents from 60 all the way to 70. The reason it's from 60 to 70 is because we are rounding to the nearest 10. Intervals of 10 are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Those are my intervals of 10. So essentially what we are trying to do is take this number, 65, to the closest 10 or interval or multiple of 10 that is to it. So on my number line between 60 and 70, I have 9 little lines representing 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, and 70. We then plot the number 65 on the number line, 61, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 65 over here. We then ask scholars to round 65 off to the closest interval of 10 that is to it. Now with 65, it's right in the middle between 60 and 70. So it can be quite confusing for scholars. So how I've taught it is, if for example there was a man walking from 60 to 70 and he got to the middle, 65, would it take him longer to just carry on walking straight to 70, or would it take him longer to turn all the way around and move back to 60? And scholars would then answer, it's much quicker to just carry on walking to 70. So in the case where the unit or the 1 is 5, the 65 rounds up to 70. And how you write your answer is as follows. 65, we use wavy equal sign, because that means it's rounded to 70. Now in the situation where perhaps the number was not something that ended in a 5, perhaps it was, let's say, a number like 63. In that case, it would be plotted over here on the number line, 61, 62, 63. And in that case, the 63 is closer to the 60, so my answer would be 63 rounds off to 60.